Welcome to Cougar Talk, and we are with KK.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here and to see you again. This time,
I know,
not
right?
in person.
That was like such an amazing signing. I love
Oh my gosh.
Gail's book events. They're just,
Every signing they put on is phenomenal. But let me tell you, like, this Nashville Music City, it was incredible. Like, my voice is still gone. Just from talking to readers, and like the showing was phenomenal, but like just everybody and the excitement in the room was just I want to go back.
They were so amazing. And
Yeah.
the readers, there was such a good vibe in that place.
Such a good vibe. I agree. Like even the hotel, even though we had to walk 5 million miles everywhere we went, that's the only downside. Everything else, though, the reader energy, like the authors that were there, like everything
was just so amazing. I met so many incredible bloggers.
I know.
I'm pretty sure some readers, I scared them.
I doubt it.
Because they would have like the coolest stuff they made. And
I know.
I'm so excited. Like from shirts to boards to photo books.
To tattoos.
Yes.
Did you see it?
I saw this one that they had Stitch tattoos that they had just gotten done.
Really?
Lilo and Stitch, and they were
that's so cute.
Elvis Stitch, and
like
that is
that's so cool.
I've ever seen.
I had a reader approach me with a treehouse tattoo for Up in the Treehouse. I just posted a picture of it. Then she tagged me on Insta, and it's seriously like, it's the biggest tattoo a reader has ever done of my books. But it seriously made me so emotional because that's my first book baby. And like, it's like her whole arm. And it's so pretty.
Like, she had to have connected with your book so much and loved it so much to have it like permanently in his skin.
I was like,
oh my gosh, that would give me goosebumps.
She was like waiting to unveil it too. Like Heather Orgeron was right next to me. And she was talking to her, and like Heather wanted to tell me, but she's like, no, not yet, because she was waiting to come in my line. And I was like, I want to see it. So it was like this huge unveiling. It was so awesome.
That's so amazing.
I loved it. Yeah.
So for my Gail's Googles, I was talking, it actually got me, I was talking to some friends, and they were, I don't know how we got started. It was, we were looking at strip clubs in Nashville, and one of those like Hunkomania or something, and we didn't get to go because the only time they had it was, I forgot, it was like the 10:30 was sold out, and 8:30 would be pushing it for all the other stuff we wanted to do. So we didn't get to go, but they had where you could rent a hunk. And I was like, seriously? Yes. And so they had all these different options. So we didn't rent the hunk. But
you should have rented the hunk and brought it to the book signing.
I know, right?
Brought him, not it.
Maybe I only wanted to rent it. But like, it would just got me, we got to talking about all the stuff you can rent, like there's so many options. So I was Googling, and some of it's kind of creepy.
No.
Okay, so
this is a thing?
You can rent a casket.
Oh my gosh.
What are you going to do with it?
I don't know.
And
oh my gosh.
This is like a book idea. Like what would
that is a good idea. A book idea.
It could be the ultimate prank, obviously.
Yeah.
Like morbid and dark, but or would you want it for like a Halloween party? But here they're obviously talking about for a funeral. But I feel like if you can rent it for whatever you want, you can rent.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, that's definitely a book idea. Like you could rent a friend and then
rent a friend.
Yeah.
We all need that sometimes, right? Oh.
I know. If you're really embarrassed by your parents, this might be a good option.
I know, you always hear about like the fake fiance. What about like the fake parent trope?
Yes. And okay, I was thinking, what if you did like an age gap where you weren't really married, but a girl rented? And like you could get into like all kinds of stuff.
Like rented a daddy?
Yes, and then fell for a daddy.
Wow,
Really, daddy. I mean,
you just put that idea out there. It's gonna happen now.
Yeah, I just feel like there's so many options for this.
Rent a daddy.
You can rent tires, and I feel like why would you rent the tire?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Don't you need to keep those?
You can rent a tire. Christmas tree.
That one makes sense.
Yeah.
That one makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't keep it all year. So
then maybe there's a guarantee in case the lights go out.
Exactly. I don't know
how you go.
Trees, and it is hard to get the lights back off. Yeah. Chickens. You can rent chickens.
Oh. I mean, I'm trying to think of the purpose for that.
I feel like it could be like if you just want to test it out, if you want to be a farmer.
You just want to test out if you want a chicken. Okay, that makes sense.
And, maybe you want the eggs for a little while, long term.
I think you have to wait a little bit for that.
Yeah, and then maybe you don't want to kill your chickens. Maybe you just want to have them and then give it. I don't know. I'm trying. Goats. You can rent.
I would rent a goat.
Yeah,
I would rent a goat. For sure.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And they eat your landscape. So like you just want to
I am in between, I need to mow my lawn. After the freeze, my grass is finally growing back.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Now I've heard of the bridesmaid and groomsmen. I've actually used both before. So I've heard of that, like renting a bridesmaid.
I mean, do you have to buy their outfits too?
I would assume. They're just a filler, Okay, and now this is clever.
Well, is it fake?
Yes, it's fake.
Oh, okay. I like that idea.
They actually do this in Greece. When me and my husband got married.
Oh, really?
I thought I was getting this real big cake, and I was surprised at how cheap it was. But they actually decorate styrofoam, and they bake your actual wedding cake in a sheet, and then they just cut it and bring it out to the guests.
That's so smart. Because then you don't have any risk of it falling like in the movies if somebody falls into it.
Yeah, and so the only part that's real is the top part that you cut for the photos.
Okay.
And then after that,
I like this.
Yeah, so they peel it back so nobody knows your cake was fake. And then they bring out little pieces that are perfect.
This is like low maintenance. This is good. I'm actually getting ideas.
It's genius.
Okay. I like this one. Now we're on to something good.
You can rent a private island. And I'm like, that's the perfect weekend getaway.
I was going to say writing retreat. Anyone?
This needs to happen.
I think so. I think it does.
Yeah. And so that's it. That's for my weirdest thing.
That is beautiful.
Yeah. I don't think an island.
How do you find this stuff?
I just Google. Google is my best friend.
Oh, it's so funny. I love it.
I want to discuss your website.
Oh, okay.
If anyone wants to learn all about KK Allen, her website, and it is gorgeous.
Thank you.
So gorgeous, and it's so easy to navigate. I love that.
Updated it. So thank you.
This is my favorite part. Like I love the and here's a series you wrote with a couple of other authors.
Yay!
All these covers are gorgeous, and your website is just so cute.
Thank you. Yeah, I had fun with it. I just make it on my own.
Really? You do it yourself?
Yeah. It's easy. I mean, you just have to find a template you like, and it's pretty easy.
somehow I always do something wrong.
No.
Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
I can give you a lesson if you ever need one.
Doing a lot of things.
Yeah. I like, because I'm such a control freak. I like doing everything myself. Because then if I don't have to wait for anything. I hate asking for things. I'm so horrible.
Yes. Well, it always gets awkward because you don't want to come off as needy, but at the same time, you're like,
yeah. I'm like,
don't hate me, but maybe, I don't know.
yeah. I just like taught myself graphics over the years, and I just keep updating things like when my eye like changes or whatever. But yeah, I just redid my branding and I just did all that. Yeah.
So gorgeous. And that's your reader group.
That's my reader group, Forever Young.
Yes,
I think that was one of my original banners too. And I was like, I really like that. But now I just use my my latest books as my Facebook covers. So I was like, I want to keep that graphic. But yeah.
Well, I love this graphic.
Angst and romance.
Yes, yeah. I love this.
Kind of speaks to the whole like new adult, you know, theme. Even though I kind of write a little bit more than that now. But it's fun.
But I'm kind of noticing, like, is that jeans or a jacket we're in?
That is a zipper. I think it's a pants zipper.
Okay.
You know, losing the innocence.
Like, what are we zipping there? Or unzipping?
Losing the innocence. That was the whole thought behind that.
I love it.
I'm going to plug. I have to plug my phone in. Hold on.
No, you're fine.
I mean, you can talk.
Well,
I just don't want to lose you.
I have to.
There we go. Got it.
To talk about my favorite book of yours. And this actually I very first read of yours.
Okay.
Yes. And I met you, I can't remember for sure what year it was.
Yeah, because I remembered your face before I started seeing you popping up in like our author chats and stuff. But I couldn't remember why I remembered your face.
Well, I was probably the one that freaked out. I fangirled so hard because I remember you were on an author list for one of the book signings because that's how I met most of all my favorite authors. I would just go to these book conventions. I was obsessed. I was so obsessed. And I would go down the author list. I never checked bloggers. I never checked like nothing. I was just like,
wow.
Who can I meet? Who am I going to meet? I want to meet these authors. I want to be there. I want to get like books. Like was like my catnip. So I would go down the list, and I remember I came across your name, and I was looking, and this cover blew me away. It is my favorite cover. I love it so much. It is so gorgeous. And let me see. I should have like blown it up. I don't know why.
OK Creations did that for me, and she nailed it.
Yes, it's my favorite cover. My favorite cover.
Yeah, that one is a definite up there.
Like, it is so gorgeous. Let me find it on here. I should have already had this one. Yes, there it is. Oh, there's just something about, I don't know, the waterfall, the font, the woman laying across. I mean, I just loved it in this. Oh my gosh, this story.
Did it say romantic suspense to you?
Oh, it did. Like everything about it. I devoured this book.
Oh my God.
I devoured it.
So, yeah. So that's funny because that's one of my longest books ever. And the biggest complaint I had was that they wanted more. And I was like, I'll get in trouble.
It was so.
Thank you.
Such an amazing story. And it's kind of one of those where it's like, I don't think like I can ever love a book more. Like this is like the one that got me hooked on you, you know? And it's just like, this is it.
I'm coughing.
You're fine.
I still have a dry throat from Nashville, so I've just been chugging water.
No. I just figured you were getting all choked up.
That too. I should have been like, I'm crying.
No, and it's like I just love it. And I thought about when we were at Nashville. I was like, oh my gosh, I should go and get another copy signed, but without my pen name, since this one's
because I signed. I'll send you one.
no.
I'll send you
I'm
one.
gonna do one to Gail and one to
That's so funny. I'll totally send you one.
but no, and even the back. It's like so pretty.
I know. She seriously nailed it. Like, I think we only went through, there was one version before it, which was also like phenomenal. It wasn't like the vibe I was going for. Because when her and I originally talked about it, this was pretty much like how she said to me what she wanted to do. So this was kind of already in my head. So then when I got the other version, I was like, can we do what you said originally? And then she was like, okay. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is it. This is it. Just because of the like bright letters like coming through the waterfall. And like when you read the book, like you see you can like look at it again and see like so many significant like details from the story.
Amazing. And the story, like this is one of my favorites. I love this story, this cover, everything. It's literally the perfect book.
Okay, you're very sweet, but thank you so much, because this is definitely one of the ones I like poured everything I have into. So
you can tell it's amazing.
That means a lot.
Someone said they love it, but sorry guys, StreamYard won't show us who you are unless you grant permission, or you can just put, if you want us to know who you are, you can just
I can't. Is there a chat? I can't even see anything.
There's somewhere where we can have.
I'll let you do that because I can't.
No. Yeah, it should be on there somewhere. I don't know why. Usually, every time we have a guest, it doesn't just like pop up.
Maybe that's why. Maybe.
But it's on there somewhere. Somehow you can click comments. But anyway.
Where do I click chat?
But yeah, this.
Oh yeah, but then I can't see you. I need to see you.
Oh, it's Alicia York.
Oh,
yes,
hi.
So much. It covers everything. So we'll go on and talk about our other books now. I fangirled over my favorite.
No, that's okay. I love it. You can fangirl all you want.
But you can. I don't think there is a KK Allen book that's not phenomenal. Like from your covers to the stories, everything is amazing. But this one will always be the one that I push the hardest.
I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, just because it's like the one that I fell in love with. I think everybody's like that. Like you have your author.
Yeah.
There's something about that first book.
Yeah, because I poll people all the time in my group, and it always seems to be the first book they read of mine that, like, you know, because if you want to keep reading an author's story, there's a reason why. And usually nothing ever tops, like, that first book you read.
Yeah, it's just something. It's like the first kiss, you know? It's that thing. It's, let's see. And so... Then you came out with this, and oh my gosh.
Yay.
When I saw this cover, my jaw.
Really?
I think it is so gorgeous. It is.
Yeah, it is pretty. Emily Wittig did that for me. And that was the first time I'd ever worked with her. Because I had seen her work a ton, and I was like, I need to try this girl out for fantasy. Because, it was so hard switching from new adult contemporary romance to fantasy with romance, but this is like a little bit tamer, but it's still steamy. I wanted to make sure my readers knew that this was very different.
Yeah, well, the cover is gorgeous. I was like combining my words.
It is. She did a great job.
And, you know, I think I am so impressed because fantasy is one where I love to read it. I just don't know if I ever write it.
Right.
And so it's
so. It was the first thing I ever wrote. It was the first thing I ever published. So this is actually a rewrite from my original book called The Summer Solstice Enchanted. But it was my very first book ever, where I released it without any editing, but I later went back and like did the editing and stuff. But later on, like as my craft grew, and I kept looking back at that, thinking, man, I could do that so much better. And it ate me up until I was like, I have to do it. I have to. So I took 6 months of last year, like rewriting the 3 books and making them bigger and more romance than they were before. Because before they were really geared towards teens. And this is definitely up there. It's a very slow burn trilogy, but it gets very steamy at the end. So
I love that.
Thank you. You're so complimentary. I love it.
I am. I really am a cheerleader. I get so excited. And
do you think you could ever write fantasy? Like, I know you said you don't think you could, but would you ever want to?
I would. I feel like I need to get my footing, because right now my romance, like, I even went back on my first book.
Yeah.
And because I had a lot of readers that were like, why was it fade into black? Why was it fade into black?
Oh.
So then I went back and I was like, all right, this is not going to be fade into black.
Yeah.
You're sex, you're getting sex. So I got more bold as I went.
Yeah.
And I'm even going to redo some other stuff of my early stuff, because, I feel like, all right, I'm a little bit more.
Yeah, and you're kind of like growing into your, like, who you are as a brand and stuff. And I feel like I did the same thing.
Yeah, even my branding's changing. When I first started out, I was always like, oh my gosh, I don't want people to know naughty words.
I know. I feel like you're just like me. You're just like me. I was so scared. I was like, who's going to read this? And now I don't care.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm just like, ooh, we're going to.
My mom might have stopped reading my books, but it's fine. She still supports me, but it's a little too much romance for her, I think.
I know. And it's like, I'm now. And so maybe down the road, once I've gotten like, okay, I've figured out what kind of, I want my romance to be.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm mostly rom-com, romantic suspense, adult, and so now I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll move into fantasy. So I feel like fantasy is like, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Not even the sky. You can go to the universe. Wherever you want to go with fantasy.
I will tell you that I want to say some of the smarter authors that I've met would highly suggest like having a different name for different genres.
But that's
because and I will say, like, my I feel like I was on an ascending trajectory, and then I released the fantasy and it kind of halted that, only because I was finding a whole new audience. Not all of my readers trusted to move to fantasy. A lot of them did, and I'm so grateful for that. But there's a lot to be said for like kind of making sure you're not confusing the reader and stuff. And I don't know what your readers would say about that. A lot of my readers will say it doesn't matter, write what you want to write it under your name, and that's, I'm trusting in that, and I'm risking it for the long journey, I guess. So
see, I got excited when I saw you getting into fantasy. So it's one of those things where I think your older readers, older, what's a better word for that? I don't say I'm old, like
the seasoned.
Yes. Oh, geez, can I say that?
Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah. Like,
like, since they've been on the ride with you,
loyal fan base.
Yeah, they're just kind of like, all right, we're doing this now.
Yeah.
Maybe like newer ones are like,
not sure. Right. Which is fine. Maybe one day they'll trust it and pick it up.
I feel like there's been a couple of authors that have done both, used both their name, but then I do know some that will have a pen name. And
for me, that just feels like a lot of work.
Yes. Like they're all gonna know it's you.
And this is already more than a full-time job as it is. Like, I can't even keep up with my own name.
I can't even keep up with my name, and
I can't be more than one person.
I was already telling people the wrong name. I'm like, there's no way I could throw a third name in the mix. At that point, it should just be like, hey, you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Yeah, I love it. I love the fantasy. And here's your
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this cover.
Handsome.
Oh,
He's so perfect for the broody, angsty,
I'm
lonely.
Oh.
He's such a lonely guy.
Oh, I love him lonely. I want him broken. I want him bruised.
This one is very broken, and he comes from a very broken family. And he like desperately wants to heal, but he doesn't feel like he can heal until he heals other people. I'm not gonna say too much, but yeah, like I love this character so much, and it really took the right female character to like make him whole, you know, or to kind of like give him the okay to like become whole. So I love that I have a very strong female in this book and like a very broken male character, and then they kind of come into their own because she has work to do too, because she's hiding a lot. So
yes, Alicia put the emoji with the heart eyes. Too. Yes. I feel like I get that in real life. Like I totally get that little emoji.
Yeah.
At this, almost like a cartoon character.
Your heart eyes, like a cartoon,
where the little eyes like pop out.
Like
you know? But like, I just want to run my fingers along his shoulders. Like I just trace the little dips.
Oh, I know. I know. Well, this model is very popular. Come to find out, I'm seeing him everywhere this month. But it was this pose that was like, yes, this is him. This is Anderson.
Well, the whole cover is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, him, his hair, the way his hair.
You can tell I work with different cover designers, and like I work with different photographers for every different like feel of a book. So this one was Quamber Designs.
I love it.
And she nailed it.
Yes. Well, and that's great though, because that gives you like a diverse and like to play with different people. I love that. I think mine are usually that way too. I don't stick with like, not that I haven't had pleasant experience with all the cover designers, but I like to explore and figure it out. You know, still
right. And every book has a different mood, so as long as that's coming across, I'm happy.
That's the best part about being an indie author. You know, you can just kind of dabble everywhere.
I think so. It gives us a little bit more flexibility, but ultimately it's what the reader wants. So
well, I'm pretty sure no reader is going to complain about this one.
I haven't heard any, but I don't know what they're saying behind my back.
I feel like I could just print this out and stare at it all day.
You're
like
so funny.
Poster. Oh, he's like so pretty.
They're so funny.
And this.
Oh yeah, my Firefighter.
And now, so this one is with a series with other authors.
Yeah.
About this.
Yes. So Candy Steiner wrote the first book, Washed Up, and then Harlow Ray wrote the second one, Screwed Up, and I wrote this one, Fired Up, and then Tia Louise wrote Tangled Up. And it's all in the Bayside Heroes world. They're standalones. They can be read in any order. Because we all kind of wrote them around the same time, but different and like apart. But we pulled elements together. And one of the biggest compliments we've gotten on this series is just how well everything flows together because of the world building that came into play. So we're all very proud of that. And we're all just like so giddy about how everything turned out and the success of this and just like how well we work together. I think we all kind of surprised ourselves and each other with, because this was a really, you know, this could be a really daunting thing, but we made it really fun. Well, and these books are really fun.
Yeah, so. And I love how the covers they're so catchy. The covers are so like, I get like just excited.
I mean, Candy designed these.
Really?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she's amazing.
Oh yeah, I love Candy. She is just such a ray of sunshine.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
she's
Yep.
such a positive person to
And
be
she's
around.
like that on both sides, like behind closed doors and like, and you know, on social media, like you get what you get with her. Like that's who she is. So it's really fun. But like I could say the same about all of them. Like
Yes.
we all brought different talents and but yeah, the cover obviously is a very important you know, piece to draw people in. So yep.
I mean, if
We
I
love it.
like that, I would definitely want to met it. Like,
Yeah. Like with the neon and the yeah. It's fun.
loved it so much.
Yay.
And then here we have Up in the Tree.
My special book.
Yes. I love this cover. I love all your covers. I feel like you just keep saying that. But I just look, I'm just like, oh.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, because we talked about it, I think, before we started the live, I think.
Yeah.
But just how like this was not the original cover. But the original cover is now the special edition cover. So people like at the Nashville signing, people get confused. They're like, okay, which one is the original? And I'm like, well, this is technically the original with the tree, but this is the one. This cover right here like changed a lot for me. Just because I do feel like my branding before was very inconsistent across like the covers and stuff, and this really helped to change this and to let people know like, hey, this is a romance book. It's not, you know, I don't know what everyone thought it was before, but maybe young adult or something, or maybe like, I don't know, but I don't think people knew. I mean, people commented and told me they didn't realize this was a romance until they saw this cover. So it was really fun to give that a try and like see just how well that worked out, and just to pick up all these new readers who I may have never found before was really exciting.
Well, I'm still gonna.
Have you read this one?
I have not read this one.
Oh my gosh, you have to read this one. I feel like this one and Waterfall Effect. Well, this one's not a suspense. Like this one carries the same like second chance emotion with it, you know? So I love this one.
I will tell everybody again, if you've not read Kay, you need to, but I will recommend like you can read this one and then talk to me about it. Like we can both gush over it.
We can do a discussion.
Yes. So Ashton couldn't be here tonight, y'all. Normally Ashton's our professional one. I usually get to just do all the fun stuff, talk about covers and fangirl and talk about, you know, weird things like you can rent a casket. So I'm going to try and ask you actual legit interview.
Oh my gosh, you're making me nervous.
Let's start with, where is your favorite place to ride?
Oh, that's a great question, actually. Oh, you were scaring me. I thought it was going to be like, what's your darkest memory?
I need to get this position and be like, tell me.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, okay, wrong video chat. I'm just kidding. I'd probably tell you. I'm a very open person. I'd probably be like, okay, let's talk. I need a therapist. So no, I mean, you're going to find I'm a very inconsistent person. Oh, yeah, so right now I have been writing in my office. I've just been focusing better here. But I have to have like my window open. I have to be able to see out because I like daydream while I write, and it just has to be very quiet. So like I really write in like the mornings into the afternoons, and if I'm on a deadline, I'll write after my son goes to sleep because it's like the quietest time in my house. Yeah. But like I wrote a whole series upstairs in my bedroom, like on my lounge chair with the windows open, and like where I could close the door and like have that kind of like closure type of piece. So I think and then I wrote another series. I want to say I wrote the Gravity series in the library and in coffee shops, mostly in those 2 places. So I had to like get out of the house for those. So I think my thing is like, I like seeing open spaces outside, but I need to be like enclosed at the same time. Or I need to have earphones on. Like I just need to like, so I move around a lot.
I'm that way.
A lot. And usually if I'm like on crunch mode and I need a lot of words, like I cannot sit in the same place for a long time. So like I'll sit here, but then I'll move to the couch and then I'll move to the dining room. And then so it's like, I kind of write wherever like I can feel myself like focus. And it's different. It's different for every book. But usually where I start writing a story is where I finish.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Well, you said you daydream. So is it like the book?
I do.
Like it plays out like the scene in your.
Yes.
Like
I have to picture it in my head before I actually put it on paper. I actually picture it like it's a movie. Like I've always done that. Like really honestly, like when I was writing Treehouse and stuff, like I could lay there in bed and like play the entire book without even reading. Like I could play the whole book in my head like a movie. And it had to flow right in my head in order for me to like put it on paper. Now I do it kind of chapter by chapter and I know like big plot points along the way. But yes, like I'm a very visual person. Like I'm a very descriptive person. And I think that's why people say like everything feels so like real and stuff. And I think it's because I'm like living the story in my head. I don't know if that makes me a crazy person or what, but like it just has to feel good. It has to feel real. So
I'm that way too. I don't understand how some people like they don't see it.
I was gonna say that same thing because I saw the TikToks about that on how they can read but not picture what they're reading.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. How do you do it? How do you?
Yeah, basically the same thing. I get some, and like, I mean, sometimes if I'm really in a book, like I dream about my characters.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I will even be driving and hear a song and see my characters like almost like play,
like get hit with it,
like a mood, you know, like song, something. And I mean, it's a miracle.
Yeah, songs do it for me too.
But yeah, like I don't even like I'll get home and wonder how I got there. But, but I have to hurry up and get to my laptop.
Yeah.
You know, because I want to keep that emotion. I want to keep that feeling. But like when I'm writing, it does. It all plays out like a movie.
I love that.
It's basically I watch them. I'm like creeping on my characters, watching them act everything out, and I'm like, okay, yeah.
And if you don't like that, you can maneuver them in a different direction.
Yes, but I can't like do detailed outlines because it hasn't played out for me.
I can't either. I outline as I go sometimes.
Yeah, if I need to, if I have to stop. Because it's like time to go pick up the girls from school. So I'll make a little note.
Yeah.
Like, this is where you were going to go with this.
Yeah. And what I've started doing too is like I use Scrivener. So once I get enough detail, like I'll start just putting like paragraphs in each chapter to kind of, okay, this is where the story's going here and here. But then I change it all the time. So I just go back and I redo that until the whole story kind of feels fleshed out. But yeah.
Yes. Oh, I've had to do that. Like change in it and then I've got to go
back. Oh gosh. And it's like, no, you're like in the last chapter and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to change all of it. I need to go back to the beginning. It's okay.
So yeah, definitely. I get that.
I love that.
So, how do you come up with your characters' names?
I put some work into that. I want to say a lot of times it kind of depends what the book's about. And then I try to come up with names that really fit like the title of the book or just the innocence of the character or like Waterfall effect. Like Aurora has the meaning like light in it. I think so. Like I really wanted to play to that in a way. And then Jackson, I just thought sounded cool with her name. I think so. It really is like based off of one. But like Asher, oh, this is the wrong cover, but that's a special edition cover. Like, so he's a firefighter, and actually his name was something else. I think it was like Weston or something when I started writing it. And then I was at dinner at the last night I went to in Dallas with a bunch of authors, and I was like, I don't know if that's the right name. And it was like Harlow Ray and like Heather was there, and Brittany, blogger / PA, was there, and Tia Louise was there. And so we were all kind of talking about it. I was like, okay, I need a vote on a name. Like, and I was like, my character's a fireman, EMT, and I just kind of gave him a bullet list. And then Brittany was the one, she was like, Asher. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's perfect. Like ashes, fire, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I just thought Meadow was like the cutest, like single mom name. So Asher and Meadow, I just thought it was the cutest like combination. So I think of combinations. I also think of last names a lot just to see like what sounds good together. But I try to have it make sense, or like I try to make sure I understand the meaning of a name.
Mm-hmm.
And then I let like I look up meanings of names, and then I let that like play into the character, or I make sure it makes sense with like who my character is. Because my real name is Kinile, which is Hawaiian, and it means flower of Jean. So I think I'm very sensitive to names because like in Hawaiian culture, like every name has a meaning, and it usually relates back to family and stuff like this. So I think that's why I put like all this extra tension into my names. But yeah. So yeah, that's it. I think that answers your question. I can go on and like tell you every story and like why I came up with their names, but
oh, I love it. So what has been the hardest scene to write?
Oh gosh.
Or simple. Like what's just like kind of like even like
yeah. Oh gosh. I have an answer to this. I'm trying to think, because I want to say it's probably like in my romantic suspense books. I want to say it probably has something to do with, also there's two things. So probably when like things get in like the thriller mode with like my romantic suspense stuff, because I want it to be believable but like fast paced, and like I'm a very much like slow burn writer. So but it's also fun to do, but it's very challenging. Oh, the other thing is like writing to history, like in A Bridge Between Us, like that book very much ties into like actual history and Ute culture up in Colorado and like the Western, and all of that. So I did a lot of research. So I feel like that was the scariest thing for me to write, because that's not my culture. And I want to pay the most respect to anything that like I have no knowledge in, but I wanted to learn, and I wanted, to do it in a respectful way. So yeah, I think it's that kind of stuff, like really digging in deep and understanding as much as I possibly can, and respecting the culture enough to find people who are close enough who can read it and give me honest and respect their opinions as well, because I'm not going to say no. If you tell me it's wrong, I'm going to listen to you, and I'm going to, make sure I do it the best I possibly can. It's not going to be perfect. It will never be perfect, because that's not my life that I'm living in. It's not, my history. So anyway, I mean, I think that was probably A Bridge Between Us was the hardest book I ever wrote, just because I was weaving that in.
Yeah, I have been trying to write more diverse characters, and I had a friend. I have a friend.
Yeah.
Actually, I have several friends who are, they are Puerto Rican descent, or their family's from Mexico, and and I just, girl, I love me some Latin music. I have no clue what they're saying.
I know.
It just sounds so good.
You can dance to it.
Oh my gosh. Like Luma. Like if I ever met that man, no would not be in my vocabulary. Doesn't matter what he said.
I know what you mean.
I love it. And so I really wanted to play like with that culture. I mean, it's fascinating. And I wanted to write a female character because like it just seems like they're so fierce and they're so passionate.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I love it. I'm like, that's the type of woman that's going to put a man in his place.
That is so true.
And I swear, it's like if you are born Latina, you just come out stunning and you never age.
Yep,
I'm convinced.
Pretty much.
Like, have we all seen Jennifer Lopez?
No, well, she is a different dynamic.
Yes,
she is.
Kind of, I feel like even also after the Super Bowl when her and Shakira was on, that's when I knew like I've got to write one of these characters. And I have so many. And they're always like so funny. And it's like, it's just, and I was always so jealous that I didn't get to do a Quinceañera. Like I wanted a Quinceañera when I turned 15. So anyways, sorry.
You need to do it. I mean, you're doing it, right?
I know, I need to have one. Like, do you think they'll let me do it? But just give me the dress and the cake and I'll be happy. In the dance scene. Oh my gosh.
But you're writing the book, right?
No, I already did it. So it was.
Oh, you did? Which one is it?
Ashes with and Everyday Heroes.
Yeah.
So, but I was terrified. It took me forever to finish that book because because also I would need help with even the grammar because I wanted I want actual Spanish in this.
Yes.
So I would have to find sensitivity readers. I'm like, no, you cannot sugarcoat anything. Like you've got to be, am I going to accidentally offend someone? Like that'd be the worst thing ever.
That would, I mean, yeah.
And
it's like it's not intentional, but it doesn't matter, right?
Yes, and so author Susanna Mole, who's like the sweetest person ever, she was so kind and even read over it for me.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yes, I'm like, you're the best.
Oh, that's you know what, this author community is amazing.
Yes, she is a gem in this.
Yeah,
if you've never interacted with her, you need to because she
is.
Oh my God,
she
is the most giving and sweetest person I've come across with. Just like, oh, you're doing this? You need help? Like,
yeah, that's the best. Yeah, no, because we're all so caught up, in our own things. Like when you find people that are willing to give, and it's like, and for me, like it's so hard to accept help too. Yeah. So. Yes, and you also like friends that I have, they'll like force it on me. They'll be like, "No, like we are helping you. You can't say no."
They'll be like, "No, I know you're busy. I know you're busy. You've got your own things," and they're just like, "No."
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my most challenging book. One I'm the most proud of because I had fun. I had so much fun doing it and learning more.
Yeah.
Some of the things that women in that culture have to deal with that I didn't even realize. You just get into there like
and you learn so much.
And I still want to write more diverse characters, but it's scary.
Yeah.
So scary because I'm like, I'm gonna end up like thinking I'm doing a good thing and like seriously pissing somebody off.
Well, yeah, like I mean, and people who don't read the whole book who just like quickly assume like you're stereotyping when it's like, no, actually people do stereotype these types of characters, and that's what this book is representing in this small part. I did get some comments like that, and I was like, well, like I'm not stereotyping. I'm actually spinning that and like not stereotyping them, but the character is, because that's real. So. And they weren't a good character. The person who did that wasn't a good character.
I actually had a few comments, like even I had a romance that dealt with Greek culture, and my husband's Greek. And so some parts I had a reader reach out and say, I think some of this is a little far-fetched. I'm like, no. Like,
I know first.
Like, no, that like I know that one.
Like I have intimate experience.
The whole book's not about what I went through, but a few parts I took of experiences. No, I have never.
But that's nice that you have someone so close to you who you could like bounce ideas off of.
Yes.
That's always nice.
Yes, and I actually knew if I was getting the Greek right, like if I was getting it correct, I'd be like, "Hey, will you?"
I love that you do that, though. I love that you are challenging yourself to be diverse and stuff.
I know.
I think that's really important for all of us.
Well, I want to because I get tired of some of my characters. You know, like I want to be like, I haven't had a redhead yet. Like, let's do a redhead, or I haven't had this type of person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only one that kind of bothered me is I did have I had a character that had a little bit of like a mental illness and nobody knew, or like didn't like address it.
Oh, really?
And I was kind of wanting to touch on that with I have had family members with mental illnesses that they didn't like. They were like bipolar and all kinds of stuff, and nobody would acknowledge it. And so I was kind of like, now look, I'm not poking fun. That really did happen.
Yeah.
So some of it, it's like, no, I was trying to be as realistic as possible. And then,
I think it gets scary when it's real.
I think that's it. The thing is the stuff that I put that happened in real life.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, somebody's like, that was a little far-fetched.
Well, and that's why I always said I had a really hard time writing like single parent romance, because like I'm a single parent and it's like I don't feel like I found my HEA yet. You know what I mean? So like but I'm a really good single mom. So anyway, so like this was my like single parent story, and I surprised myself, and it's one of my favorite stories I've written, and like the kid in it is so freaking adorable, and he totally takes after my son when my son was that age. So it just ended up being really fun to write. So
yes, I love that, and I feel like that usually like is the best book, is the one you have your own experiences in there.
Yeah. I try to do a little bit of that. Like I wrote like that dance series, and like I used to be a dancer, so I thought that was really fun that I could like put that in a book, because I don't dance anymore, but I could like write about it.
Well, I'm impressed that you were a dancer because I have no rhythm. I want it so bad.
I should have gone dancing in Nashville and I could have checked it out for myself. We were just dancing around the hotel.
I love that.
There was live music one night somewhere, and Harlow was just like spinning me in circles. So that would have been fun for you to watch. It was funny.
I love it. Oh, somebody, sorry y'all, I will give a shout out, but it just says Facebook user. I'm so excited that I was able to catch this. Well, we're so happy that you're here. And it's hard for me to ask for help and accept help. So I feel that in my soul. Yes. Everybody needs a little help. So always ask. Accept it. Oh, it's Norma Marie. Hi.
Hi, Norma.
Hi. Okay, so what was your favorite childhood story?
My favorite childhood story?
Like favorite book, favorite fairy tale?
Oh, like when I was a child. Like give me an age range.
What's the one that comes to mind? You can just pick anyone.
So, when I was 12 is when I really went hard into like reading. But I had stuff before that. Like I started, what did I start reading? I want to say it was like R.L. Stein.
Yeah.
Like mystery horror for like kids. Like I love that stuff. But I also read like Babysitter's Club, and like I loved series. I always loved series. So like the Fab Five was one that I don't think many people know about, but I loved it. So all those things, and they always had like a little romance in them,
Yeah.
But like I didn't know what that was at the time. I was just like, ooh, are they gonna kiss? I'm
still that way when I read.
I know, right? And then it just kind of grew into like Sweet Valley High, and then I was obsessed. Like I still have all the novels, and then it was like, SVU, and then I jumped into like Nicholas Sparks. And then I was reading all of those, and I feel like when at the time I was reading Nicholas Sparks, that's when I like really wanted to become a writer. Like I wrote my first book when I was 12. Like when I first like started reading like all like the Sweet Valley High stuff, I was like, I want to write.
Yeah.
And I remember one day like I had like read all the books on my bookshelf, and I was like, I want to go to the bookstore, and no one would take me. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna write my own book, so I have something to read, and I did.
That's amazing.
At 12 years old, I sat there and started writing my first book, but it's nothing I would ever. I still remember the story. So.
Okay, check it. Like at first, I was like, "What is happening?" I just saw
my cat.
Shadow.
Sorry, she's super shy. She won't come to me because she knows when I'm on camera.
But all of a sudden, I just
she's just sticking her butt in my face. She
just
sticks her butt in my face. It's fine. Here, come here.
Yes. Oh, Alicia said that she read Sweet Valley High.
Oh, I loved it. I mean, I would go back and reread them and still love them.
Yeah.
Because I just think they're so good. I would love to write a whole series like that. And they're so short. Like now that I know as a writer, like what like a big book is, like those were so short, but they were so good. They're so juicy.
Oh, you should do like a little mini series.
I know, that'd be so much fun.
That would be fun.
There's so much stuff I want to do. It's like, how am I gonna find this?
Absolutely. So what would you say is your favorite like subgenre in romance to read?
To read?
Yeah, just to read for your own pleasure.
Oh, I really bounce around. I don't know if I have a favorite. I really like angsty. Honestly, I think if I'm going to pick up a book, it's going to be a beautiful, sweet, steamy cover. And I'm going to know that it has some sort of like angst or forbidden element to it. I think I'm really attracted to like forbidden romance, but in like a sweeter way, not really a darker way.
Yeah.
When I read. So yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying.
So maybe like contemporary.
Yeah.
With like forbidden romance in contemporary, yeah. What about you? Are you gonna answer these too?
No, I think mine is I'm such a mood reader.
Yeah, I am too. It's hard.
And so I definitely want to go I'll get like on a kick.
Yeah.
I never want to read what I'm writing. So if
that's hard.
Yeah, if I'm writing a rom-com, I'm going over here to something heavy, kind of like forbidden. I want forbidden. I want, then I'll hop over and I want paranormal. I want vampires. I want werewolves. I want aliens. And then I'm going to hop over to historical.
Really?
Yes.
This is going to sound crazy. I've never gotten into historical. But I like dark romance. Like I will read dark romance, and I love it.
I think historical. I love to go back to historical because it reminds me of, I need to put more detail in my writing because the historical romance have so much detail. I don't think I'd ever want to put that much detail because they really get into it, but it makes me notice.
Yeah.
I don't really describe much of like what my characters wear unless it's like relevant to something. Like if they're going out, then I'm like, ooh,
this is giving too much away, but I'll describe what a character's wearing if I know they're gonna like be intimate, because I need to know if she's wearing like a skirt.
Yes.
It has like easy access.
Yes. Or If it's the dress with the low cut back.
Oh, yeah.
Action.
Or if it's pants and he's got to work for it. Like, I need to know these things.
Yeah.
But other than that, I kind of forget. I don't even like describing faces and stuff. Like,
yeah. And
I don't know. I do it, but
where the slightest hand touch is just so forbidden, you know?
Like, I love that.
As soon as someone get off on, you know, that where it's like,
yeah.
Where if you read like a spicy book or steamy romance, it's like hand touching's nothing. Like we need to be grabbing.
But I need that in my romance. I need like the little, you know, like touch the hand and like before anything's going down, it's just a hint that maybe he has feelings.
My favorite is when they like both reach for something.
Oh,
hands like I just like I'll get like so giddy when I read that part. So yeah, I'm all over when I want to read because I definitely it's almost like I need to clean my palate.
I'm the same way, and I'll go to like rom-com. I love rom-com. Like I love just like busting out laughing, you know, like especially if it's after I've written like a super emotional book. I definitely need, and that's why I go from like writing romantic suspense to like, I don't know. I don't know. I think this is the most rom-com I have, but I keep showing this cover. I don't know why, but
I mean, keep that. We love it.
I think it's one of my most recent, but
yeah, I'm the same. Like that's kind of even with my writing. It's if I write something really light and happy, the next book somebody's getting murdered.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'll be writing and I'll be like, this is not dramatic enough. And I'll write my friends and be like, I think someone's going to die.
Yeah.
I think I'm killing somebody off.
I mean, it's either murder or sex. That's usually like if I get in a block, I'm like, all right, time to have sex or kill somebody. I don't know which way we're going to go, but
we're psychopaths.
Somebody said the dialogue is what grabs me, all the Jews. Alicia said, and Tom Sawyer or Huck Finn, love. Okay, yeah, those are good ones. With a little rock star or enemies to lovers or paranormal or all of the above. Yes, enemies to lovers.
I've written all those.
Yeah. Love it all. Got hooked on the Twilight series and, of course, the movies. That's Alicia. Yes.
So did I.
Yeah.
I loved that I was an adult and I got hooked on YA. It made it feel like okay to still love YA. And like we all, I think most of us still do. Right? I mean, I think it's so great.
Twilight was, you know, people can say whatever they want, but Twilight was wonderful for the book community because so many people.
So was 50 Shades. I'll say it all day long.
All across the board, everybody was wanting to read again. And I love that.
Yep.
Love it.
Yep. I mean, it's what brought me back into reading. Like, I don't know why I had stopped. Like, I'd been a big reader all my life. And then I think I entered, like, the work. Like, I was, like, you know, 22 to 25. I was just, like, working. And I kind of had stopped reading. And then I remember one day I was, like, having a fight with my boyfriend or something. And I was getting a massage at my friend's spa. And then after that, she worked, like, above a bookstore. And I went downstairs and I was like, I'm just going to find some books. And Twilight kept catching my eye. It hadn't like blown up to what it is today. Like, because I lived in Seattle. So that book was like everywhere first, you know. I was like, that looks interesting. But I kept passing it by. But then at the very end, like I was about to check out and I saw it again. And I was like, I'm just going to get this freaking book. It's like everywhere. So I got it. I devoured it. Like I didn't stop reading it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need the next one.
I remember I read it before the movie, before there was ever talk of a movie.
Yeah.
And I was early 20s and one of my friends was like, hey, don't you like to read? And I was like, yeah, but I haven't really read anything in a while. Same thing. I kind of quit, and I was just like, I don't know,
Yeah.
read in a while. Nothing's really, meh. And she's like, well, I want you to read Twilight. Like, what's Twilight? Bring me out. It's like it's vampires and werewolves.
See, I went in totally blind.
Yeah.
Like, I thought the back of the book was a joke. Like, I was like, he's not a vampire. And the book feels so real, like, reading it. Like, I mean, who else read Twilight and went in blind reading it? It is, like, an amazing experience. Because then you, like, want him to be a vampire. And you're like, please tell me he really is a vampire. And then he is. And you're like, no, that's just a joke. And then it's like, nope, really, that's it.
Oh my gosh.
It was crazy.
And I was kind of like, I was like, I like horror movies. Because I was not thinking of like friendly vampires munching on squirrels.
Right.
Like, I was like,
you're like, how is this going to work?
Yes. And I was like, I like horror, but I feel like I've never really read a vampire romance. Like,
yeah, I mean, and at the time I wasn't really thinking of like Interview with the Vampire or like any of these. And I had read vampire, I guess, romance books, like teen books, like when I was younger. I can't remember who the authors were, but I loved them. But I never felt this way about it, like the Twilight way.
Well, and it was like when I was reading it, I would like start texting her, and then I'd be calling, and then we call together. So then I'd go to class, and I'd be like, "Look."
I gave it to my mom, and my mom like devoured it.
Yes,
my sister bonded on a whole new level there.
My sister, who had always called me a nerd, and would read. Never would read a whole book. Like, she wouldn't even read her school books. She was always having somebody else do her work.
That's beautiful. And then that. I love that.
And she read all of Twilight.
I love that.
She is now a hardcore reader. Seriously.
See?
Yes.
I tell my son, I'm like, it only takes one book to get you into reading. You just have to find the book,
So, and I was like an over like thinker. So I would like even ask my friend, I'm like, he's a vampire? I was like, let's get it up. I was like, they have sex in the last. Like, how does it work?
Yeah, I know.
We're sitting there overthinking it. Like, well, maybe it's the venom. Like, maybe all the venom.
I was so appreciative when Stephanie Meyer like put up on her blog like the whole like scientific reasoning behind like how it worked, and I was like, oh, thank you for that.
So I was going on there like downloading all the songs on the Twilight playlist and reading where she loved, like Rhett Butler from Gone with the Wind and all this different stuff. And
I went through a whole vampire movie. Like, I had to watch every vampire movie there was.
See, and I'd always loved vampire movies. I loved vampire, but I just never would have thought of. And I loved how original she was with the, like,
with the sparkles.
I know, the sparkles. The only thing I wish the movies, like, we've gotten on a whole Twilight kick now.
I know.
I wish they would have done with the movies was have more of the banter between Jacob and Edward.
Yeah, they didn't really play off that because it was kind of funny in the book, right?
Yes, they called each other all kinds of names, dog and puppies.
Well, there was a lot of. I feel like there was maybe a lot they felt they couldn't do just because Jacob was so like speaking in his head a lot.
Yes, and like
he was in wolf form.
And
yeah, that's funny.
I love those.
Yeah.
Oh, Erin says she went in completely blind.
Yeah.
Saying vampires who sparkle. Someone else said they went in blind and then devoured the entire series and was upset. Yes.
The best.
Erin said she devoured the series. And then they went from Twilight, got into the House of Night series by PC and Kristen Cast.
This is crazy. This shows my reading, like, I'm a mood reader. Mm-hmm. I went from reading Twilight to Chris and Hannah's Firefly Lane. like I was reading those at the same time. And then I read I have it over there. I think the Hunger Games series.
Oh my gosh, the Hunger Games.
That was good. Yeah.
Yes, I read those before the movie as well. I'm so glad I read some of these books before the movie.
I read did I? No, I did read those before the movie. Divergent, though, I watched Divergent, and then I went back and I read the whole series because I needed to know what happened.
I can't remember all my son read the books for the movie.
Oh,
no. But then from Twilight, I ended up going over to like, okay, now I want more vampire romance, and then I found the Stackhouse series.
Oh, see, I never read those, but I did watch the show.
Okay, True Blood has nothing on the series.
Oh, really?
Started out okay.
Really? Oh,
listen, the whole little Billith thing, like when Bill became Lilith and all that, like when it got really weird, that didn't happen.
Yeah. Really? Why do shows always do that?
HBO is determined to ruin the last season of every show they do. Man. I love HBO.
Wait, are they responsible for Game of Thrones? I'm angry. Listen, I'm still angry.
Listen, I'm not bashing HBO. I love me some HBO. I watch it all the time.
But I think you're onto something about that.
But I don't know what happens to them. What it's like the last season, like they do amazing. They make some amazing shows. And then it's like, all right, well, it's time to wrap this up. Let's end on a really bad note.
I know. Men.
Yeah, it's like, why? Like you have the material. Okay, Game of Thrones, they didn't have the material. But the series, Charlene Harris wrote it all for you.
Yeah.
You knew you had a fan base.
Just pick that up and go.
Yes, the work is done.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me if they change that.
They went way off. And the ending of True Blood is not how it ends in the book either.
Interesting.
Yeah, like I don't know where.
I went to a convention one time and she was on the panel that I was watching. She was with Alessandra Torre because they were talking about movies, like books turning into movies, and she was amazing.
Oh my gosh, I love her.
She was amazing, but she never said anything about that.
She probably can't.
I know, probably not.
She did. We were supposed to like make up a story and keep it going. Where each person finishes it and then passes it back.
Yeah,
one of those. And oh my gosh, she's queen. I love her, and I love how she looks like so sweet and innocent. And then it's like she writes these books.
Funny.
Oh, Aaron loves that series, and yes, True Blood has nothing on the Sookie Stackhouse series. Yes, you need to.
That's very good to know. And
there's some characters they didn't even bring on the show.
Really?
Great characters. Big.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they didn't even. Somebody else said to Game of Thrones. Yeah.
I think we all feel the same way.
Oh, Norma said Hunger Games is still one of her absolute favorites, and Divergent are so bad. Yeah. I feel that. Okay, so real quick, we need to do our this or that. Okay, so normally Ashton does this as well.
Okay.
So I had to real quick come up with some this or that.
Okay, let me see it.
All right, here we go. First, and y'all can answer as well. Anybody, like, just drop in your answer on the comments. Like, we love to hear what y'all have to say. Oh, Norma said she made her husband read Divergent, and he got so mad.
Really? Why?
That's impressive that you could actually get him to read it.
I know. Yeah, first of all, that's great.
Yeah.
We love men who can read. Or who do read. Who read romance. There. Let me spin that.
So, all right, this or that. Which would you prefer? Are you ready? All right. Bad breath or body odor?
Oh my God. Body odor. That's terrible. I'm gonna go with body odor.
Yeah, you might can spray some. I don't know, like bad.
I need the kid. I need to be close to the mouth. So.
I mean, you can always also like throw a mint in there. Or I wonder if you could put a mint in your mouth and then French kiss and like pass it.
Wow. Yeah, and I guess you can do less about the body odor.
Yeah, I mean the body odor you could be like, oh, here's some for free.
I don't like cologne either though, so.
That cologne's like really strong and it's like overpowering.
Yeah, it's too much. I'll just sneeze on you.
Oh my gosh. Or if you hug someone and then their cologne is still on you. Like you can
Oh yeah.
Like it just clings.
I mean, there are certain colognes. When it's the right guy, their cologne's not so bad. So I don't mind them leaving their scent on me.
I'd be like,
Yeah. And I'm like, oh.
Okay. So what is worse? This or that? This, a speeding ticket, or that, a parking ticket?
Ugh. A speeding ticket. What's worse?
Yeah, which one's worse?
A speeding ticket.
I feel like though a speeding ticket, you could talk your way out.
Well, but I thought you meant I already get the ticket. But they cost more.
That's true.
And they go on your record in a worse way. They raise your insurance when, yeah. And I lived in Seattle. I got a million parking tickets. Not that I meant to. I wasn't trying to be a bad girl. It just happened.
Yeah.
I got a boot on my car once too because
really?
I actually am the worst. Yeah, I used to be awful. Like I would park wherever, like not realizing it was that bad of a thing. Like I parked in front of someone's garage one time because it looked so old. I didn't think it was functioning, and I was trying to go to like the state fair, and I was like, "Oh, we can park here, guys. It's fine. Like they're not going to use it." And they towed my car. They towed my car. We went up to them. We're like, "Where'd my car go?" They're like, "You parked in front of my driveway." And I was like, "Oh, sorry about that." I was like, "Did you need that?" So yeah, that wasn't good, but I learned my lesson eventually. It just took many years.
So, beach or mountains?
What is it?
Oh, beach or mountains?
Oh, beach or mountains.
All right. Wine or beer?
Wine.
If it's like that fruity beer, I can drink it, but I can't drink regular beer.
I can drink light beer. Like Corona Light's my favorite. But yeah, otherwise it's wine.
Yeah.
I'm a wine girl.
Okay. So facial hair or clean shaven?
Clean shaven. Oh, on a man. Oh no, I like facial hair now. I thought I was picturing my mind immediately went to my legs. I was like, I'm gonna shave my legs. Woo. All right, that's all, folks. Just kidding. Yeah, no, I like the facial hair now. You need to clarify.
I'm sorry. I didn't even think
I should have said what body part. All right.
This might be too much TMI, but I actually have not clean shaven my legs.
I've been hearing that a lot lately because it is, cold out in some places. I can't do that though. I have to shave mine every day.
Oh, I can't do it every day. I get razor burn. How do you?
Well, at least when I get in the shower. I don't shower every day. Especially when I'm on a deadline.
Yeah, like the other day, it's like it just kept being so cold. It just kept growing back, and so I was like, forget it.
So you like the hair. So you would vote hair versus cleanly shaven.
Yeah. Yeah, I can just cleanly shave. I'm gonna it might be frowned upon.
I don't know.
I just went around like Chewbacca, you know.
Now you see how fast I think. Not so good.
Okay, so all right. For a man, do you like? I'm sorry, I'm spitting. Do you like a beard or a mustache?
I like scruff. Beard.
Beard. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I like that little 5 o'clock shadow thing.
Mustache reminds me too much of my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. So beard.
Good deal. All right. Is it the smile or the eyes?
Ooh, that's hard. Both.
Yeah.
But eyes.
Yeah.
Eyes.
You know, you have really pretty eyes. Not like you do. Your eyes are gorgeous.
Yeah.
But your eyes, I was just like, wow.
You have a nice eyes and a nice smile.
I have an over.
Very nice. You do. You do.
All right. So in the game of truth or dare, are you usually truth or dare?
I'm weak. I do truth because I've got nothing to hide.
Well, that's nice.
So.
I'd be great if someone wanted me to ask me something that I would normally like not want to have the confrontation or to tell somebody that.
Oh, see, I'm fine. I'm totally fine with confrontation.
All right. So, do you like a public declaration of love or a private declaration?
I think it's more meaningful when it's private.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it public every now and then just to know. I mean, I would vote for private because I would get like really embarrassed. Like if it's super public.
I get anxiety whenever you see like the public proposals.
Yeah, it's like, what if they say no?
That gives me so much anxiety, and it puts the person on the spot. Like I would probably say yes to anybody that publicly proposed to me, because I would not want to like embarrass them or make it awkward. Even though my shirt says let's make it awkward, I
we like being awkward.
I do. Typically, I do enjoy it, but then it's like, oh. Okay, so I was Googling this or that question, and I found these two that you don't have to answer, but I just thought that
what is
one was this or that, licking or sucking.
Oh.
Like they didn't give any context to what they were talking about.
Licking. I just thought of a lollipop.
Yeah. Or like a lemon. You know, like some people like to, or a lime, they like to suck on it before.
Oh, I suck.
Yeah.
If it's a lemon, I suck.
Yeah. And then I was just like, that could go all kinds of ways. Especially with romance authors.
I know. I mean, that's why I put some context in there. Lollipop.
Oh, Norma said that her husband did a public proposal.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Yeah. Okay, and then the other one was sex in a car or in a hallway.
A hallway? Definitely a car. Ew, I'm not gonna. You're gonna get rug burn.
Or maybe they're thinking up against the wall.
Oh yeah, like a wall banger. No, I still say car.
Yeah,
for sure. Like, easy. That was the easy one.
That was your easy one. Unless it's like a smart car, that might be kind of hard.
Might be. That's good though. Nice tight squeeze. Never hurt anyone.
I would love to just. Okay, this sounds really bad. I promise I'm not that much of a pervert or creep. But just to walk by to see one of those little cars, how much shaking?
Like the fog on the window. The hand.
Like, I don't know why, I just imagine it squeaking. Like,
Probably.
like they're so tiny.
You gotta walk around all the parking lots now and try to find it.
I know, I'll get so excited. So that's what it looks like.
Start videotaping it.
Oh. Well, that is all my questions.
Well, thank you. This was really fun. I didn't know what to expect. You're like, we're just gonna wing it. I was like, okay.
Yes. And it ended up winging even more because poor Adam was sick. And I was like, oh, like I never asked those serious questions.
You're good at it.
Oh, well, thank you. But this was so much fun. And I appreciate you. I can't even talk now. I appreciate you so much for coming on here. You are a blast. And
I love you.
Fun.
And I'm so glad we got to meet. Like that was, I know we've met before, but now that like we're in the author world together, like it was really fun to connect.
Yes, you are fabulous in person, on social, everywhere. And once again, I'm going to recommend y'all have to read this book. Favorite, but also read her new stuff and check out her website. It's kkallen.com, right?
Yep.
Yeah, very simple. I almost thought it was too easy.
Yeah, it used to be kk-allen.com, and then mine wasn't available, and so it was, and then I bought it, and then I switched everything over. Yay!
Oh, Norma says she was excited to meet both of us this past weekend. Yes, Norma.
You were very lovely, Norma.
Yes, you were such a delight. I love you. I'm so happy you joined us. I'm happy all of y'all joined us tonight. So much fun. All right. Well, if y'all have any more questions for KK Allen, just check out her Facebook, Instagram. She's on TikTok. She's killing it on TikTok. She has the best TikTok.
It's so fun there. It's just a fun place to be.
I was doing it quite a bit, but I have to get back. But I would not write. Because I would go down a rabbit hole.
I know. But the thing is about TikTok, like if you stop, you lose so much traction there.
I know.
That's what happened to me.
Is probably shot. And so I need to make sure I get dedicated before I
do
go.
It once a day.
Yeah.
I know. It's hard. It can be a time suck.
I'm one of those people, though, if I find somebody I like, I click on their profile. Then I go
you want to like
all their videos. And next thing you know, I'm on their Instagram. And then I find somebody.
That is a rabbit hole.
I find somebody they're tagged with. And then I'm like, oh, who's this person? And I go to that person. Before you know it, I'm on somebody that no way.
Yeah, you're like, and then you're like, how did I get here?
You're like on Facebook where you end up on somebody's like third cousin's profile. That person.
So funny.
How did I get here? And how many hours has it?
A lot. I know.
Yes. I really need somebody to manage my time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something I've been working on a lot, like over the past couple of years.
Yes. But like Kate in our group, I love to ride with her because she's definitely like.
Oh, yeah. She does a lot of sprints.
Yes. Her sprints are amazing.
Well, you know, and I've noticed a lot of people who do the sprints, like they're so busy in real life. So like the sprints are the small like pockets of time where you can focus, you know, and make yourself focus. So it's a very smart thing.
Accountability. I need that. So if I'm left like free range, like in home,
See, yeah, I know. I'm not really a sprinter though. Like I'll get into sprints, but I'm more like I sit there and I type a few words and then I stare and then type a few more and then I'm like, wait, I didn't like the way that sounded. So, but good. That's good that sprinting works for you. You can probably write a lot.
I've never done it before. I feel like just that pressure of having her to be like on me. Not that she's like telling me, but you know.
But if that helps you, like the sprinting groups are great. That's why NaNoWriMo is great.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, I'm getting sidetracked.
No, it's okay.
We'll end up here all night.
I know. Well, let's do it again later.
Yes, definitely. And thank you so much. You were just so fabulous.
Thank you for having me. Seriously, I'm so excited that I got to be here with you and all the readers.
Yes, y'all definitely go follow her. Check out her stuff. If, like, once again, if you haven't read her, I recommend this book. But I'm sure you can go to her reader group. Go to her reader group, Forever Young, and there's lots of other readers there that will probably give you other book recommendations because she has so many amazing ones.
Oh, you're so sweet.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.